Hello guys, wanted to present you a game that I played online again. This time not on chesscube.com. I think they were having server maintenance or something because I couldn't get online. But any which way, this was a very simple and quick match, and both sides had 10 minutes of thinking time. And the rating system was a little bit different because they had something like 7 classes, and my opponent was a class 6 player and I'm a class 5 player, so something around that area. I think on chesscube.com that would be around maybe class 5 would be around 1500, something like that. So any which way, my opponent's nickname was badboy1233. Can't remember the nickname exactly, and I was playing anonymously, and he challenged me. I accepted. He opened up with e4. I replied with a Scandinavian defense, and instead he declined it by just playing to e5 straight away, and I played my knight out to c6, and he plays d4 here, protecting his pawn, and this has transposed now into a variation of the Nimzowitsch defense. So I push my pawn to e6, just stopping the pawn advancements, and it may seem that I'm a little bit cramped here, but I just want to get my pieces developed out somehow, and then at some point I'm going to start opening lines, and I think I'm going to have some potentially some pretty good attacking opportunities here. And this pawn push also opened up the possibility for my dark square bishop to come out. So he plays h3, which is a little bit weird because, well, the main reason is that I think he's basically just trying to prevent my light squared bishop from coming to g4 in the future, but I think he should have done something more developing, like getting his knights out or something like that. So I place my knight onto e7, can't put it on to f6 because it's attacked by his pawn, and now he develops his knight out to f3. Then I play my knight to f5, and he pins my knight to my king. I break the pin with my bishop, and he takes my knight, and I take his bishop. And the bishops are a little bit better than the knights, but in this kind of a situation with pawns close to my home ranks, then the knights would be perhaps considered better because they can, move around in very confined and tight spaces, but the bishops are long-range pieces. In which way, my opponent castled here, and I played my queen to d7 so I can castle now on the queen side. He developed his knight to c3, and I castle. He places his pawn to a3, and he's just avoiding my dark square bishop from coming over to b4, and where I could attack his knight. I play to f6 and try to open lines now here because I have most of my pieces developed, and as you can see, most of my pieces are pointing towards his king side where he has just castled, so it's looking pretty good for me potentially. So he takes the pawn, which I don't know, maybe it's a good move, but of course it's taking one of his center pawns, and it's kind of just weakening his center here. So I take back, and he attacks my knight, and I retreat my knight back to e7. And now he plays b4, and it's kind of funny here to notice how symmetrical his play here is. All these pawns and knights, they're all symmetrical here. So I play e5, just trying to get rid of that last pawn on d4. He plays his queen to e2, and he's taking control of this soon to be open file. I take the pawn, and he takes back with his knight, attacking my light squared bishop. So in this position I play my rook to e8 because I'm getting ready to potentially move my knight out at some point, and then we'll be attacking his queen. He plays his pawn to b5, and the reason is that now he has my bishop for free, but I can kind of try to play a trap here. I first play my bishop to g7, getting my dark square bishop fianchettoed on this nice diagonal with his knights and his rook, and he takes my bishop, which seems to be just a free piece here, with his pawn, and I take back with my knight, but now I'm also attacking his queen. Well, I think he was too overwhelmed with his own plan here, so he wasn't thinking about my counterplay. So he thinks he's just getting some pieces here for free, and he takes back with his knight, and now I can just take his queen. So in this position he plays a bad move, I think. He checks my king by taking my pawn on a7, and this is bad because once I move my king to b8, he has to retreat his knight to back to b5. And the reason why it's bad, because it's giving away his initiative move, because if we go back here to this position where I've taken his queen, well, in this position it's his move. He gets to decide what to play here. But once he's done this variation and line here, it's my turn, and I can decide how to develop the play here. So I play my pawn to f5, and I'm trying to bait him to take my pawn, because now I can play my queen to f5 and I have some more pressure on his king side. And also that pawn push allowed my bishop to get open access on this long diagonal. And he attacks my queen, and it's also attacking my rook. So I retreat my queen to g6, and this is checking the king. The king has to move first. And now I play my bishop to e5, and as you may notice, all the king's escape squares are taken here. Well, this is sort of a mistake because I didn't notice it, but my rook was hanging and he took it. But it isn't that bad because this position is just pretty good for me. And now I play queen to f5, and I'm threatening a checkmate in 2 here. And the checkmate in 2 would be here, that if he, for example, plays knight to d4, then I can just take the pawn, check, king has to move, and queen to h2 is checkmate here. So he doesn't want to do that. Instead he plays his pawn to f4, and this is taking care of this plan for now. But any which way, I take that pawn, check, and then king moves to g1, rook goes to g8, check, king goes to f2, and I check with the rook because I want to keep the squares that my queen has under control attacked, so he has to escape back to his home rank. And as you may have probably watched my last video, my latest video, in that video his king got stuck onto his home rank, and it caused him to lose the game eventually. So now that his king's going back to the home rank, I take the knight on c3 with my bishop, giving check, forking the king and rook. And he doesn't want to lose his rook, so he takes back with the knight. I take back with the queen, and I'm also forking the king and rook here. He plays his king to d1, and I could take the rook here, but I'm looking for more here because, you know, this position is just too good here. So instead I thought about for it a while, and then I saw this simple mating line, which is queen to d4, check, king goes to e1, queen to e4, check, king goes to d1, and then queen to e2 is checkmate. So I hope you like this game, and leave a comment and rating. Thanks. Bye.